afternoon. I'm hoping that you can all join me this afternoon. I'm going to demonstrate how to make these two cards. This is my featured set of the week, Sending Sunshine. And this is a celebration set. When you spend $100, you get the stamp set plus the DSP that matches it. So, if you're on, if you could comment, and then I will be able to see that people can see me, and that would be great. I have to turn off my volume, otherwise we're going to get an echo. There we go. Okay. So, let's start out with our Sending Sunshine. Underneath my thing today I have, because both of these are the photopolymer stamp sets, I have my pad that gives me just a little bit extra, I don't know what to say, like extra, so when you push on it you get a better stamp. Just gives you a little extra cushion. So, we're going to start with this card. Now, you will not believe how many stamp pads it takes to make this card. This is for the water. These are for the tree, or the leaves here. This is the sky, and this is the sky. And this is the sun in the sky. This is the sand. Let me see. No, this is the clouds in the sky. This is the sand, and this is the sand. So we just have a multiple of colors we're going to use today. So I'm going to leave them spread out there so maybe I won't get confused. But then we never know. So I'm going to start with my 5.5 by 4 card front. This is going to annoy me being underneath here. I'm going to put it up here. Okay, so there we go. And we are going to start with the water. So for the water we need 2 pieces. This bigger piece and this smaller piece. And we're going to stamp these both in Bermuda Bay. Let me get my blocks ready. So this is the bigger water, and we're going to use Bermuda Bay, but we're going to stamp off. And we want to put this about in the middle of the paper, I think. So let me open up my stamp pad here. And I'm going to ink up the bigger piece of water. Our Bermuda Bay is very, very wet, so it likes to stick. So first I'm going to stamp off, just because I need a little bit lighter of a color. And I think that looks like about the middle. So there we go. Now we're going to take the smaller water and we're going to get it on here straight. And we're going to ink it up with Bermuda Bay. And we're going to line it up perfectly with these 2 top lines. There we go. Now, the sun is going to go right here, and it's a long stamp, and it has a line right through here, which is the horizon line. I'm sorry that I'm getting my head in the picture, but I just can't line these up unless I can look at them from above. And we're going to make the Sunbeat Mango Melody. I think this is a nice color for the sun. Again, we're going to ink it up. And we're going to try to line, I don't know if you can see it, there's just a line that doesn't have any ink on it. And we're going to try to line that right up with the water line. Well, I think maybe we could have gotten that a little bit darker. Now I got that one lined up great. I don't know if I can get this one lined up as good as I did the first one, but we'll see. There we go. Okay. So now you know what we're going to do to the bottom. We're going to get out our blender brushes. Now I want to tell you, I didn't realize this before, but you can wash your blending brushes. Let me show you. Here's a brand new one that I haven't even used. It has a little bit of blue on it just because it was with the other ones. And this is one that I just ran water in the sink and cleaned it out. It's not quite as white as a brand new one, but this is not stained. It won't leave anything on your paper or on your ink pads. So I was doing some other things this morning, so I got this one in the Bermuda Bay, but that's fine. So I just wanted to tell you that way you can have like a dark one and a light one, and you can just clean them out, and you won't have to purchase as many as I thought at first. So now we're going to do this bottom down here. And we're gonna, this one I used in Bermuda Bay, so I'm just gonna kind of go over here and get off the Bermuda Bay, and I'm going to use crumb cake to start with. And I'm going to get it off my pad here because it's much easier to blend on your paper. So I'm going to open the crumb cake. I'm going to get some ink on there. And then I'm going to kind of dab on my paper first, just because you don't want that big blob of darker. And then I'm just going to start blending. Now if I go a little bit into the water, that's okay, because crumb cake is a little bit lighter than the Bermuda Bay, so it won't make that much of a difference. And I'm just going to get this bottom all blended in here. These blender brushes are just great. They just blend everything so smoothly, don't they? And the fact that you can clean them off. See there? I forgot to do a little bit on my grid paper and I got that darker spot. But we can fix that because we'll just keep blending. And pretty soon it'll pretty much blend in there. Okay, now I thought that it needed just a little bit darker maybe on the bottom. So I got my soft suede out. And again, I can use the same one because crumb cake is lighter than soft suede. I'm going to get some soft suede on here. And then I'm just going to kind of go a little bit darker at the bottom. Just to maybe kind of give it a little bit of a texture. And so that it's not all one color. Because sand's not always just one color. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me there. So in the set, there are these little dots that you can stamp onto your stand. I'm going to get those out. Nobody's here yet. I hope that somebody joins me. Okay, now I just had them in my hand. Where did they go? Well, I must have dropped them. So we're going to skip the little dots in the sand. But if I were to find them, I would use soft suede. So we'll just set those over there in case they show up. But it was such a teeny little stamp, I'm sure I've dropped it on the floor, and I'm not going to make you wait while I look on the floor for it. So the next thing I'm going to do, is I need the soft suede anyway, is to make these boulders or rocks here in the background. Okay, when I was doing that, I found my dots. Some days are just like this for me. I'm just going to put some every once in a while, just to add some texture to the bottom. Alright, and then I might just take my blender brush and kind of blend them a little bit so they don't stand out quite as much. Then I'm going to add some boulders or rocks up here just for something else in the background. So let me get out that stamp. Oh, stuck on there. Okay, so I'm going to get these on here straight. And it's kind of like 4 rocks, a big one and 2 small, 2 medium and 1 small. So I'm going to ink those up with the soft suede. I'm going to put my pad back underneath. And I'm just going to put some rocks back here in the background, just to make the background look a little more interesting. Now if I want to, I can stamp like 2 or 3 of them together and one a little bit lighter behind it, and it kind of just gives you something out there in the background to look at. So next we're going to work on the sky. So I have my light colored blending brush, and I'm going to start with Mango Melody. And I just want it, again, how I did down here, where I used the 2 different colors. I'm going to use the Mango Melody kind of for the sides, to make the sides be a little darker. So I'm going to get some ink on here. I'm going to start off the paper and I'm going to come in. Now what I want to do is leave some white around the sun, because I think that just makes the sunrise look better. So I'm just going to kind of put it up here like this, leaving that white around there. Now I'm going to add some Daffodil Delight. You can just play with these colors. There's so much fun to play with when you have these blending brushes. So now I'm going to get off the Mango Melody and I'm going to put on some Daffodil Delight. More kind of just in the middle is where I want my Daffodil Delight. Again, I'm trying to leave that white around the sun. So I'm just going to kind of blend that all over. Then I'm going to come in with my Bashful Blue. That was a color 10 years ago. Now it's Balmy Blue. And I'm going to get the Daffodil Delight off my blending brush. And I'm going to get some balmy blue on here. And I'm going to tap, and I'm just going to kind of fill it in here at the top. At first I thought these were like sponges, but they're really like little bitty bristles. Hi Susan, how are you today? I just want this to be a little bit darker. Now every time they're going to turn out different. I can't get two skies to look the same 2 times in a row. So I'm thinking that looks pretty good. Just a little blue sky, some glow from the sun. And now we need some clouds. Because this set just has so many pieces. So I'm just going to put a couple of clouds in the sky. Not too many because I don't want it to be too cloudy of a day. I'm kind of tired of cloudy days. That's what all we seem to have around here lately. Cloudy days. Find my pad back. And I'm using granite gray for the clouds. And I'm just going to put maybe one there. And I should have stamped off. That's way too dark of a cloud. So I'm going to stamp it off, and I'm going to put another one down here. And maybe one more up here. Okay, since I didn't stamp off with that first one, I'm going to see if I can kind of lighten it up a little bit with my Daffodil Delight and the blending brush by just blending some Daffodil Delight over it. You always have to try to think of how you can remedy something that you don't like on your card so you don't have to start over. So that worked a little bit. It kind of took a little bit of it away. It's just a little bit darker of a cloud. All right. So the next thing I did for this card is I used the stitched rectangle dies, and I cut out these two, and I want to try to make them centered and even and straight, which straight is never a good thing for me. Everything always looks straight to me until after I take a picture of it, and then I can tell that it's way off. So, I think that this is pretty good there. Maybe a little off here. Now, to get this to stay until I can get it onto the Big Shot, actually probably what I should have done is build it on the Big Shot plate, then it would have been easier to pick up. So let's try that. Here's my bottom plate. I just have to brag on it's not a Big Shot anymore. It's a Stampin' Up! Embossed and cut machine. Because with the Big Shot, look at how often I've used this plate. It's just so worn, but it's still perfectly straight. And if you ever worked with the Big Shot plates, they bent all the time, and forever you were trying to bake them and get them flat again. But I've used this one so much, and it's still almost perfectly straight. So I really enjoy that about the new machine. So again, we're going to go with trying to line these up again. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And I'm going to take my Post-it notes here, and I'm just going to gently put them on. This is just going to hold it in place so that when I take it to the Stamp Emboss machine, I don't get them all crooked, hopefully. So I have it sitting right here next to me. I didn't put it underneath the camera today because it just shakes and It's going to shake over here too, but maybe not quite as much. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to take it apart. And you can use these Post-it notes several times if you are making more than one at the same time. And then I'm just simply going to carefully punch these out. How about that? I did that without tearing. Oh, it looks like I got it pretty even this time too. I got the other one, my sample, a little crooked. Then I'm going to carefully push these out. This one seems to be kind of really stuck, and I don't want to tear it. I use these rectangles all the time, and it's really a tight fit. So you just have to be a little bit careful when you're peeling them out, especially when they're this thin. Okay, so now I need my card base, which I use Daffodil Delight. Oh, now a whole bunch of people are here. Hi, Susan Smith, how are you? I hope you and Randy are doing good. Hi, Estella. From Kansas, I'm in St. Robert, Missouri. I know where Junction City is. I'm pretty sure that's right outside Fort Riley. Okay, amongst all the things I put on my desk today, I seem to have misplaced my bone folder, but we know how to use a bone folder. Okay, so the first thing I did was I used my adhesive to get the outer frame. I know you're probably wondering why I'm not using the stamp and seal today, because I ran out and my order's not in yet, so I went back to the Tombow just for today, or just until my order comes in. So I want to line this up. Okay, so now, just to kind of give this another little look, I'm going to use dimensionals, and I'm going to pop up the middle two pieces. I'm just going to put one, perhaps. I'm going to put one on every corner. I have to tell you why my fingernails are pink lemonade is because my granddaughter went with me the day I got them, and she is 6 and she picked out my color. So I've been glowing in the dark for like 2 weeks now, and this week I'm going to go and get them changed, and we will see what she picks out this time, because she's already made the comment that she wants to be sure to go with me so she can pick me out a good color. They may be green, they may be gold, they may be purple. So I'm using my pick a tool here to pick off the backing off these dimensionals. And now I'm going to try to line this up perfectly with what is already taped down. Try not to let the dimensionals hit the paper till I'm finished. Okay, I think I got that pretty good. And then I have the middle here. And I'm just going to put a dimensional here. And then I'm a person that doesn't like to waste, so I always use the pieces that are around my dimensionals too, as you can tell. Just because they work just as good, they're just not as pretty shaped. And again, we're going to take the pick a tool and pick off the paper. And we're going to line it up again. And there we have it. Now I didn't put a sentiment on this one because I just couldn't decide where to put it first of all, and what I might want it to be, a birthday card, a thinking of you card. So I will put my sentiment and our greeting inside. Okay, so now let me show you some other cards that I made using the same set because I just had so much fun. Here is one where I used the new In Color Misty Moonlight and what is the name of this? Calypso Coral Mango Melody. So basically I just did the water. Now this time I saw this hint where you could take your marker and mark the edge, which I did with the Moonlight Mist, and then it just kind of gave you a better shoreline there. And then of course I added some rocks back here and I did the sky. So I really like how this one turned out. And this might be my favorite. This one coming up here. This is Blackberry Bliss. And I did Blackberry Bliss for the water. I did mango for the sun. I did some pumpkin pie for the sky and some mango. And then I colored my sky up here with rich raspberry because the Blackberry Bliss was too dark. And this is the frame from Ornate Layers. Yes, Susan, it's so much fun just to play with these and just to make your skies, you know, different colors and see what you can come up with. And so the last one I did using this is, I used some of the Eau Ombre DSP out of the Celebration catalog in Bermuda Bay, and then I did a circle with stitch shapes. Now how I got these white clouds is I did the clouds first. I stamped with Versamark. I did them with clear embossing powder so that when I went to blend in the sky, it will wipe off the embossing, resist the ink so that you can just wipe it off. And then you have two white skies. I used Bermuda Bay, and then I used Balmy Blue, a darker. I just went darker with my Balmy Blue on top this time than I did on the one that I did now. And then I put the word Sending You Sunshine. So I really like this one too. These, I think I could just keep making sunrise and sunset cards all day. But then we wouldn't get to see, there, I hit the camera now. We wouldn't get to see the next set that we're doing, which is Berry Blessings. This is a free set when you order $100. So you get this free. You get the stamp set and the DSP that matches it. And I showed this last night, all the different sheets of DSP that you get. But here's the stamp set. It's blueberries, and these can either be raspberries, blackberries. Some people use them as strawberries. Or today we're going to do razzleberry because one of the name of our ink is Rich Razzleberry. So we're going to call them razzleberries today. Thank you, Susan. I just love how beautiful the sunsets turn out too, and they're so easy. Herbie, now my dog is right here trying to get on my lap. Herbie, go. Lay down. Go lay down. Go. He thinks that he is missing out on something. So he's going to lay right here at my feet now. And see if he can find any pieces of paper to chew on. So this is garden green for my, actually, this is the wrong color. I should have rich raspberry. Hold on. I don't know why I was thinking garden green when I was getting this basket ready today. It's definitely not garden green, it's rich raspberry. Okay, here's our card base, rich raspberry. My laptop froze, so let me just try to see if I can get it to come back on. Sometimes my internet has trouble doing my phone and my laptop at the same time. Alright, so now we're going to adhere this designer series paper to our card base. This one goes pretty fast. It's certainly not going to take us as long as it did to do all the different colors in the sky and the sunset, which I should probably move these inks out of the way. So I'm going to get out our rich raspberry. Now, I use the nested shapes to cut out these two shapes here. This is the size that looks pretty good on here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp our words. Now I can't see the comments. Okay, now I can. So I used the words that said, "You always have a way of making my day," because I thought that sounded like a great card to send. Let me get the cloud off my block from the other card. And I will get these on here straight. Then I'm going to ink it up with rich raspberry. And I'm going to try and get it straight at the top. There we go. And of course, I forgot to be sure my block didn't have some ink. And I got a smudge right there, but we're going to cover that up with a leaf. So the next thing is I have some scrap Whisper White cardstock because I still have some Whisper White left. I know we're changing to basic white, but I still have some Whisper White left. And I'm going to do the leaves. I will show you the leaves next. Now for the leaves, it's two-step stamping. So first of all, you could do it either way. But I like to stamp the outline first. So I'm going to do that in Mossy Meadow. Mossy Meadow is kind of a dark green, and I thought it would go well with the rich raspberry. So I'm going to need 3 leaves. So I'm just going to stamp 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now to get the inside, we have a solid stamp, the same shape, but it's going to, and it's kind of textured and things so that you get light and dark spots, but that's okay because that's how it's supposed to be. So we're going to ink it up with Mossy Meadow. We're going to stamp off because we want it to be lighter, and we're going to line them up the best that we can. stamp off, stamp, ink, stamp off, and stamp. Okay, so there's our 3 leaves. Now we're going to do the razzleberries, or you could call them blackberries, or maybe even grapes, but they don't really look too much like grapes. At first I thought they looked like grapes until I saw them stamped and everything. They look more like raspberries, blackberries. So for this we're going to need the rich razzleberry again. And we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to do the outline, which is all these little circles. And we need 3. This one goes by pretty fast. Then we're going to take the solid piece. Look at my hands. The solid piece, and we're going to ink it up and stamp off because we want it to be lighter. We want it to be the same color, only just a little lighter. There we go. Okay, now we're going to do what we call fussy cutting because there's not a die for these. So we're just going to cut them out. But I know that it would be pretty boring to sit here and watch me cut them out, so I have already cut them out. The leaves. And I have 2 razzleberries. I didn't cut out my 3rd razzleberry because I had messed it up, so I can cut that out now really quick for us. I even have ink on the top of my nails. I think maybe I should have called my site the Messy Stamper because I always seem to make a big mess. So these are pretty easy to cut out. I know that some people do not like fussy cutting, but these go pretty fast. I kind of just go around with my scissors and move my paper. And that way I think I get a better cut. I'm not sure. But that's how I do it. So we're going to take this and we're going to decide where we think these will look best. Of course we have to put one here because I got a smear. So we definitely know one's going there. And then let's see, maybe one over here, and one right here. I just kind of lay them out how I think, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop them up with the mini dimensionals. We have these mini dimensionals, they're these little ones. So now I'm going to put the dimensional on the back. Of each one of these. I'm really sorry about my hands. I didn't realize how much rich razzleberry I got. It's a new stamp because I was changing all my stamp pads from the old ones to the new ones, and this is the first time I've used the rich razzleberry since I bought the new ones. And so it's very juicy. And it has managed to, but it all washes off right in the sink. So I'm going to take my Pick-a tool again and get the papers off the top. And then I'm going to go ahead and do these 3 razzleberries so that I can just put them all on, you know, I can kind of build it all together. I got two of them stuck together there. Okay. Pick off the paper with my Pick-a-Tool. I'm telling you, ever since I saw this tip about taking the paper off with the Pick-a-Tool, it's been a time-saving thing for me. As I get them all stuck back on my hand. Okay. So we decided before that we're going to put one here. So we're going to kind of have it facing this way. And we'll put a razzleberry in there. Kind of fit it right underneath there. Then we thought maybe one could go over here. So we'll put this one here. Since I covered up the edge with the other, I'm going to cover up that edge. And then we'll put a razzleberry, slip it right in. That's why I like to put them on the dimensionals, because then I can slip the other piece right in there. And then finally we'll put one kind of down here. We'll slip this up underneath those. And we'll have the razzleberry be right down here on the point. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I have the faceted gems. And I'm going to use my Pick-a-Tool again, although I'm going to take the pointy side out, turn it over, and then I have a little spatula, which is perfect for picking up the self-adhesive gems and getting them on here straight. Well, not when you're trying to do it on film, but normally this goes much easier. Okay, I want to get it right up there in the corner. Then I'm going to use my adhesive. Connect it to the garden green piece that I cut. That's where the garden green came in. It wasn't for the whole card, it was just for this piece. And then I'm going to put some more adhesive on. And I'm going to adhere this to the front. And there we have a Berry Blessing card. Now, I made some extras of these, so let me show you them. I always have everything laying out, and then I get things mixed up here when I'm showing things. There's my sunset ones. I have 3 Berry Blessing ones to show you. Here they are. Now this one doesn't have very much stamping on it, just basically the words, but it shows off the beautiful Designer Series paper that comes with it for free. And then I use some of my real red ribbon that I got out of the Christmas mini to tie a little bow there. Then this one, this is my very first fruit set that I've ever bought, so I'm not very good with fruit. But this is just blueberries, and I use the punch, and I kind of dab some specific point around the punch, and then I said, wishing you the very best. So I thought that would make a good birthday card, maybe for a teenager, or something where it's kind of hard to decide what to send to them. And then this is one of my favorites. This one is using the Blackberry Bliss. So these are blackberries. And again, the Mossy Meadow for the leaves. And it says Bountiful Blessings. And I got to use the blender brushes again and just blended some crumb cake in the background. Well, I hope you enjoyed today. I always enjoy making the cards and getting to show you how to make them. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments and I will go through them when I finish this, and I'm going to finish, and then it takes a little while, and then the replay will show in case you want to catch anything. I hope you have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.